What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out the all-new 2025 Infiniti QX80. This is the Luxe 4-wheel drive finished in Coulis Red. MSRP is $99,100. So comment below, is this the ultimate jumbo luxury six-figure SUV? Is this better than a Mercedes GLS, BMW X7, or other vehicles in this segment? So let's pop that hood, see what you're gonna get underneath the hood of the all-new QX80. So we are going to get the hydraulic gas struts. That way they will pop open, leave the hood open for you. So this is going to feature a 3.5 liter 6-cylinder. So this twin turbo V6 pushes out 450 horsepower with 516 pound-feet of torque. We got the 4-wheel drive system, a 9-speed automatic. Towing capacity is 8,500 pounds and curb weight is around 6,000 pounds. It also has a 23.6 gallon fuel tank. You're looking at 16 miles per gallon in the city with 19 out on the highway. Taking a look at the styling, this has a super bold appearance. I like how it looks like an Infiniti. Infiniti kind of has a unique style when you compare this to other brands. You have this massive front grille. You can see how this is all just cascading through it with the gloss black. I like the brushed aluminum trim throughout it. Infiniti badge as well, forward-facing camera. And then there's LED lights up above for the turn signals and daytime running lights. They have a really cool look to them, as you can see. And then down below are the actual headlights. There's also a massive vent right here to allow air to pass through the front bumper. And then there's an opening here along with parking sensors. You can see the intercooler back there, safety sensor, some silver trim throughout it as well. So it comes together nice. It's a bold front end, definitely has a lot of road presence. And then the hood has some nice clean body lines too. Very curvy to it as well. There's just a lot of shapes going on to make this stand out and look ginormous. At the side, we have a nice set of 22-inch wheels with a multi-spoke look and then some nice clean lines throughout it. This paint color, by the way, looks amazing in the sunlight. You're gonna get a nice trim piece down below on that front fender, fixed set of running boards down below as well, and then some black and body color. We've got body color up here, LED turn signal, got the camera on the side, and then these door handles are going to automatically open and close. So if I walk away, hopefully you can see from this angle and lock the car. They are going to fold away right about now. And as I walk closer, hopefully you can see it without even touching anything. They are going to automatically pop open, and then once you grab them, they're going to unlock. So really nice design. I also like this silver trim piece throughout the windows with everything blacked out, so all the glass is nice and seamless. And then up above, we even get a nice set of roof rails along with a panoramic sunroof. So pretty cool design. At the side, it is huge. It definitely has a huge side profile, lots of mass to it, and it does have a pretty good, clean, luxurious vibe. At the back, you're gonna get a spoiler mounted up above, more black, and then you can see how this trim piece all integrates. I really like the LED taillight bar on the rear as well. Got all your badging, backup camera, and then a body colored rear bumper. All of your parking sensors along with some silver trim. Trailer hitch receiver is located right back here. And it comes together pretty nice in the back. I think the overall style comes together very well. Moving on to the cargo space, there's gonna be a button right back here. You can press, automatically pop open that power lift gate. And then for the storage here, even with the third row up, you're still gonna get quite a lot of storage space. We can open this up, we have a good amount of space. Tire changing tools are gonna be back here. And then on this far right side, we have all the different controls for all 4 sections of seating, along with the air suspension. We can raise and lower it. So we have the left side and the right side, and I like how it's super easy to just press everything. So one touch of each button, everything goes down hands-free. I do find this to be very convenient. So when you're in back loading it up, super easy. Everything is going to fold down nice and flat, and then you can mix and match whichever seat you need to go back up. So with one touch, that one will come back up. With one touch, that one will come back up. So definitely a really good way to go. And then as you can see, you just have hooks over on that far left side. Now from here, we can press that, close up the power lift gate, and then entering into the interior. This one's gonna get the Cepha brown leather interior, the fully semi-aniline leather on all the seating surfaces. For the door panel, you have the brown color. You can also see the micro suede, soft touch plastics throughout it, and then captain's chairs with power controls. So very easy to control everything. I like the perforations throughout it. Nice stitching design to it, and then you're gonna have armrests as well. They'll lock upwards, come back down. We have a center console with some plugs, storage, as well as cup holders. And then all your climate controls. There's heated and ventilated seats back here. And you can see all the temperature adjustments and fan speed. We have more plugs, extra storage as well. And then hopping inside, closing the door. At my height, 5'11", I have an ample amount of space. Reclining the seat all the way, it doesn't go as far back as I would expect, but this is a pretty nice place to be. There's a ton of visibility, got that huge skylight as well. Really can't complain. Nice and comfortable place to be. Now, my only complaint, I would say, even though this is a $100,000 luxury SUV, I would really rather have a manual control right here to just fold the seat down. You cannot do that. The only way to fold this flat is to hold this button for like 20 seconds to get this to fold flat, and then to get it out of the way, you press that button, it's got to go back, and then it'll go forward. And we're gonna sit here and wait for a while. So I would love a manual override. That is the one thing this car is missing as far as luxury. It'd be quicker, and time is money when you're talking about a car like this. Now, in back, you have 3 seats, and then on this far right side, what is quite interesting, there is a manual release. So if I pull this, you can fold that one down quickly. I don't know why this one doesn't have it, as you can tell. So again, that is my one complaint, I'd say, with this vehicle. From here, pulling this back up, you are gonna get good legroom. You can see my knees fit pretty decent. You have your recline button right here to get these seats back. You have more storage. Air vents are up above. And overall, this is actually a good third row. You're gonna have headrests that will pop upwards to make this a pretty comfortable grown-up size seat. So really can't complain. And then once again, you're just gonna press this and give it a minute, and that seat will come back. So again, I wouldn't mind just pulling it back real quick. But overall though, this is roomy, practical, can't complain too much as far as the size go. I just want it to be a bit easier because this is gonna take a little minute. When you got a bunch of kids you're trying to get out of this car, you gotta sit and wait. But anyways, moving on to the front seat now. Pretty good use of space, certainly a practical vehicle. For the front now, door panels finished off like we saw in back with the smooth leather, the micro suede. You have memory seating, all the controls for windows, mirrors as well. And then you're gonna have power controls up front. You can see all of them, some contrast stitching and piping, and then all the same perforations all throughout it. And then hopping inside, foot on the brake, let's fire it up. You have 3 screens that'll roar to life. Really cool animation between the 2 upper screens, and you can configure left side and right side by just tapping this. So it's really cool how you can go from adjusting everything on the left side, and then over here you can now go into everything on the right side. So pretty cool. There's no like center dial or anything. It's all configured right here. And then taking a look at the center display, you can scroll left and right and see all sorts of different information, pretty much what you're expecting on any modern Infiniti. So pretty nice design overall. Can't really complain. You got the nav system, other things like that. On the left side, we're gonna have cruise control settings as well as volume, some more of those controls over here. And this roller dial is actually angled to make it a bit more ergonomic, which is pretty cool. You have steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. I like the silver trim, flat bottom design, smooth leather as well. Stalk on the right for windshield wipers, and then your headlights over on the left. We have steering assist along with your engine start stop, heads up display, some black trim, and then soft touch material up above. You can see all that, and then the Infiniti and these stripes will also light up at night. You have two-tone in the soft touch, and then this is also touchscreen, makes it pretty simple to use overall. You have navigation, the home screen you can take a look at. It has a really nice swiping design. Everything is super snappy, really HD graphics as well. And then of course, like I mentioned, you can toggle this left and right and scroll through everything in here. So it definitely makes it pretty simple. For the drive select, you're gonna tap the R button for reverse. Got a nice HD backup camera with guidelines and top-down view. You can configure this to go into different views as well. Makes it really nice and simple. And then down below, this is all of your climate controls. Now, normally I'm not the biggest fan of touchscreen. However, this has a haptic feedback to where you can see everything highlighting, but I'm not touching anything until I press it. So you actually have to put a little bit of force on it and make an adjustment by pressing the screen. So I think that is a really good touch actually to make it super useful while driving. You have all those controls, heated and ventilated seating. The rear controls, I can make all their adjustments as well. Under mode, you're gonna get all of your different drive modes that pop up, 4-wheel drive select, and more about the suspension. So pretty cool. Underneath, you have extra storage space, air ride suspension here, shortcut to that camera icon as well. You can toggle through everything right here. So actually going into the 3D view, you can get a really nice depiction now. That is a pretty great design. So no shortages of good camera angles in a big vehicle. Now in the center, we have 2 spots you can pop open. We have wireless charging and plugs, cup holders on the right side, and then a nice armrest. You got more of the two-tone leather colors along with the stitching and the micro suede, and then extra storage all down below. Far right side, we can pull that open. It is kind of a reach, but you have a nice glove box as expected. And then when let's look at the interior, honestly, it's a pretty nice place to be. Nice soft touch materials all throughout it, and then genuine leather across the seats. Got the massive panoramic roof, there's a sunglass holder up above, and this trim has a nice thin frameless mirror. So setting off now in the QX80. You know, for being so big and just packing a 6-cylinder, honestly, this thing is pretty quick. It packs a punch nicely. You're definitely gonna get up to speed really well. Now, if we just stick with eco mode, everything basic, pop it back and do automatic, this is a pretty comfortable vehicle. Now for $100,000, obviously this better be a nice place to be, given it's competing with some of the best from Mercedes, BMW, and Lexus. So, you know, Infiniti is asking a lot to charge 6 figures. But when you're driving it, it is ultra quiet. As you can tell, we're going 45. You don't hear anything. It is so quiet, so smooth. The suspension does a really good job, effortlessly just gliding over bumps. It's a nice car to drive, it really is. The steering has a good feedback to it as well, so it has a little bit of a sporty touch where it's actually a nice vehicle to drive. It's also got the luxury aspect to where it floats over the bumps and just has that ride quality to where it's on a cloud. The seats are ultra comfortable. They're really doing what they need to do. Good use of adjustments and everything to get this in a position that is really nice. And then of course that skylight and everything, so much light let in. This is a really open cabin. It kind of feels like a tank in here because you actually have a bit smaller windshield than you might expect given how large these side windows are, and you can see that hood really well. It's got the massive bulges in them. All this is integrated nicely into the dash to where it's lower than the hood, so you can see out really well. The mirrors do a good job. Visibility over your right and left shoulder is actually pretty good too. And then when you are driving this a little bit more spiritedly, sport mode and everything, obviously it's no sports car. However, this thing takes some turns with the adaptive suspension. There's really no body roll when you're going around a quick turn. So if you're taking this on a family mountain trip or something, I think this is gonna be a pretty confident car to have to deal with the turns left and right while going up a mountain. You're not gonna be all over the place in just some big SUV. So they've tuned it to where it actually has that confidence in it to where you can just drive it and enjoy how it drives. It tackles everything really well. It's a roomy place to be. Only complaints from right here, I hit this a lot with my wrist and automatically open. If I'm doing something over here, if I just put the wrong pressure with my arm, it'll open. So that's kind of one thing. These are basically always going to be open, so I'm not the biggest fan. I wish there was more of like a storage area right here. You really just use the one down here. That's probably my one complaint with the center. Climate controls, like I mentioned, are pretty easy to use for being touchscreen. Normally, my hand is kind of shaking when I'm driving, and I always hit the wrong things. This, you have to consciously press it to engage it. So I like that. I never mess up what I want to press. So I think that is a cool touch. Same with drive modes. I'll be over here and accidentally hit tow, but it doesn't tap until I hit sport mode. So I think that is a cool touch just to give you that haptic feedback. That's a nice way to do it. Now, also with ride quality, these train tracks hurt a lot in the wrong kind of cars, going 35. That was a big bump, but nothing this thing couldn't handle. That was ultra smooth, ultra confident. So, I don't know, there is a lot going for this to be what it is and to compete with the best. You know, it's really going to come down to, are you ready to try something that isn't the mainstream luxury brands, the Germans as well as Lexus, because those obviously are great names in the game. Infiniti is trying a lot. There's going to be a lot happening with Nissan and Infiniti probably in the next year. So we're going to see if they can remain successful and really ramp up what they are producing. We will see. But the QX80, honestly, it's been a nice place to be.